Let's jump right into this explainer on SweetAlert form components in B4X. We're talking custom dialogs, inputs, and animated icons for B4A, B4I, and B4J. Look, whether you're building for Android, iOS, or desktop, crafting beautiful, responsive dialog boxes from scratch can be a massive time sink. But today, we're checking out a single, incredibly elegant library that completely solves this.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We're covering animated icons, single inputs, group inputs, and finally, validation and logic. Let's get right to it.
Starting things off with Section 1, Animated Icons.
You know, a dialogue isn't just about text. It's about instantly communicating intent. That's why this library delivers immediate, beautiful visual feedback. It comes packed with 6 built-in animated icon types that you can trigger just by setting a simple string property. We're talking classic success checkmarks, error crosses, pulsing warnings, info, and question marks, and even an infinite loading spinner. Just set a property like icon to success and your dialogue instantly springs to life. No need to manage external image assets at all.
Now, here's where it gets really cool. These are absolutely not static image files. They're dynamically rendered using pure 100% parity canvas drawing logic directly in B4X. Under the hood, the library uses precise mathematics to draw out every arc, line, and rotation frame by frame. Because of this, they scale perfectly to any icon size without a hint of pixelation, and they keep your app's payload incredibly lightweight.
Moving right along to Section 2, Single Inputs.
Taking things beyond simple alerts, gathering data from your users is ridiculously easy. By just tweaking the input type property, you can instantly transform a basic prompt into specialized fields. For example, you can switch a standard name prompt into a secure password input. And the best part? The library automatically renders that secure field complete with a built-in reveal eye toggle. You don't have to write a single line of code for that eye toggle, it's just there, working perfectly out of the box.
Gathering numbers is just as flexible. Say you need an exact quantity, like asking, how many tickets? Setting the input type to number gives you a clean numeric text box. But if you want a more tactile visual vibe, like, say, for setting volume, you change that type to range and instantly get an interactive slider. You can even dial in the exact minimum, maximum, and step increments.
And hey, sometimes a single line just isn't going to cut it, right? When you need explanatory copy, or you want the user to type out a much longer response, like a bio or some feedback, the text area input type gives you the multi-line real estate you actually need. It seamlessly expands the dialog box to fit the larger control.
All right, let's step it up in Section 3, Group Inputs.
When you're handling complex selections, you can present an entire array of options effortlessly. You might want a radio group input type for something like selecting a shipping method. It's clean, classic, and familiar. Or you could use a toggle group for app settings to provide a slick, modern iOS-style switch interface. It's the exact same underlying logic, just presented with a totally different aesthetic to match your app's specific design language. The real game changer here, though, is a single Boolean property, input multiple. This one little setting completely rewires how these option groups behave. Setting input multiple to false forces your list to act like strict radio buttons. If you pick French, English gets deselected automatically, perfect for a single language picker. But flip that property to true on the exact same style of control, and boom, the user can suddenly turn on email, push, and SMS notifications all at once. The library intelligently handles the difference behind the scenes, returning either a single string or a full list of selections back to your code. Now, if screen space is at a premium and you really don't want a massive list of buttons pushing the dialog right off the screen, you can just use the select input type. It neatly packs all your options into a standard OS native drop-down menu, a massive space saver for things like picking a theme or country code.
Finally, let's dive into Section 4, Validation and Logic. This is for your peace of mind as a developer. You can officially stop rustling with callbacks. You just call the showAsync method within a resumable sub. Your code pauses elegantly until the user clicks confirm, deny, or dismisses the prompt. When they do, execution resumes immediately and hands you a perfectly packaged SweetAlert result object containing exactly what happened and whatever data the user entered.
Under the hood, this library is doing some serious heavy lifting for us. When a user clicks confirm, it automatically reads the active input. It checks if you've set the input required flag to true. If you have, and the user left that field completely blank, it halts the submission right there. It won't even bother your main code with an empty result.
So what happens if that built-in validation fails? The dialog just handles it. It automatically displays the exact string you passed into the input error message property. Imagine a user tries to submit an empty password prompt. Instantly, without a single extra line of custom error handling code from you, the dialog physically shakes, the icon flips to a warning, and your error message appears right above the input box. It's that easy. Setting this all up is super straightforward, as you can see mapped out here. It just takes a few specific B4X setter methods to configure your inputs. If you're using a range, you just set your min, max, and steps. Rating takes a simple star count value. Checkboxes rely on that multi-select Boolean we talked about, and text fields are driven by your required and error message strings. It's a highly modular approach that keeps your project's code incredibly clean. With all these customizable components ready to go out of the box, the real question isn't just how much time you'll save. It's what are you going to build with all those extra hours? Are you going to stick to tedious custom layouts, or are you ready to drop SweetAlert logic into your next cross-platform app and completely transform your UI today? The choice is yours.